What's going on, everybody? This is Marcus. Before I get started, I want to thank you guys so much for your support. It really means everything to me, and you guys mean so much to me. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything, and thank you for your support. For those who are new to my channel, and for those who are seeing it for the first time, make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications whenever I drop a video. And we're going to always keep this thing rolling. So, let's talk about Marvel Phase 7. So, I know we're only a bit of ahead until Phase 7 actually happens. It's supposed to be like really epic because from what I've been hearing, Phase 7 is going to focus more on the coming of Galactus and the Silver Surfer. So that's going to be pretty epic. But we do know that Phase 5 and Phase 6 are also going to be epic as well. So, with Wakanda Forever and She-Hulk Attorney at Law being the conclusion of Phase 4, Phase 5 and Phase 6 is going to kick off Kang the Conqueror saga. So, we definitely got all the other projects that are coming up around the time with Phase 5 and Phase 6 with the various Marvel movies and Marvel TV shows. But the main ones are going to focus on is Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars. And I heavily believe that the Avengers Secret Wars is going to be a hybrid of the 1984 original series written by Jim Shooter and the 2015 series written by John Hickman. So it's definitely going to be pretty awesome because it's going to focus on variants and multiverses as well. So it's definitely going to at least kick off the multiverse saga. It kind of already did with Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness, bringing in different variants of different multiverses. But with Phase 5 and Phase 6 is going to be very epic as well. And then not to mention, we also have Phase 7, which is mostly, from what I've been hearing, it's going to focus more on cosmic guys and the coming of Galactus. So, it's going to be phenomenal, so I cannot wait. So, but my bro Warren Thompson of Cosmic Wonder was talking about the exact same thing. So, without further ado, let's get right into it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and things are super exciting in the MCU right now, specifically because Marvel revealed all of their Phase 5 and some of their Phase 6. And Phase 5 and Phase 6 so far look awesome. However, I think we're in for a really big treat in Phase 7. And yes, that is a little bit away. However, I think this is the phase that most fans have been truly waiting for. From the specific projects to the heroes and to the villains that we will get in Phase 7 and beyond, I believe that Phase 7 will be the prime phase for Marvel Studios. And I'll explain why, and we'll talk about how Phase 6 is going to end and set up Phase 7, specifically in regards to the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the new big bads that are coming. Now, Phase 1 through 4 and upcoming Phase 5 and 6 have all been about primarily Avengers, with the Guardians of the Galaxy, who I include when I say Avengers because they fought in Avengers Endgame. For the most part, all of the stories revolved around an Avenger or a Guardian. Even if they weren't an Avenger at the time, they would eventually go on to become an Avenger. Spider-Man goes on to become an Avenger, T'Challa goes on to play a huge part in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and this is all Marvel really could do because they didn't have the rights to the X-Men or the Fantastic Four at the time to introduce these other groups. However, since the Fox acquisition, Disney now owns all of these characters, and now they have the ability to include all of these other groups. And this is where Phase 6 comes in. However, we are not going to see the full potential of the Fantastic Four or Mutants/X-Men in Phase 6. We're only going to kind of be teased with them. Yes, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men are going to be a part of Secret Wars. I really don't think Marvel Studios could do a Secret Wars without having the mutants there and without having the Fantastic Four. However, the Fantastic Four are going to be released late 2024, and the last Avengers film, Avengers Secret Wars, comes out late 2025. That means the Fantastic Four will have only been in the MCU for a year. And if they put the X-Men somewhere in Phase 6, the X-Men won't have even been in the MCU for a year before we get to Secret Wars. But here's why this is actually a good thing. There are 5 major reasons why Phase 7 is going to completely blow away any other phase that we've got so far in the MCU. And this starts with the end of Phase 6. It's a good thing that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are only going to be introduced at the end of Phase 6, because that means it's just going to be a little tease of who they actually are. We'll have one movie about the Fantastic Four, and maybe the mutants will appear in a couple of projects. Then they will team up and they will fight in Secret Wars. However, like I said, this is just a tease, a glimpse of what the Fantastic Four can do and who the mutants are actually going to be, because I don't believe they will introduce a lot of mutants before Secret Wars. There are a lot of spots in Phase 6, but we already know a lot of the films or projects that are going to be coming out, like Armor Wars or Deadpool or Nova. Projects that have already been announced but don't have official release dates are most likely going to fill these slots of Phase 6, which means we'll probably only get one or two projects with the mutants in them. So Phase 6 and the Multiverse Saga ends with a slight introduction to the Fantastic Four and the mutants, and then in Phase 7 is where we pick up and we get really introduced to them. So reasons 1 and 2 of the 5 points of why Phase 7 is going to blow us away are the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, of course, but really diving into who they actually are, really diving into bigger stories, and most importantly, the connectivity that the MCU offers. We will have individual mutant projects and X-Men projects that will focus on specific characters, but also interconnect with other X-Men projects, with other Fantastic Four projects, and of course, still Avengers projects. And of course, the same goes for the Fantastic Four. They will interact with other X-Men, and they will interact with other Avengers. However, Reed Richards is going to be a very important and pivotal character of Phase 7. Why? Well, because he is the smartest man alive, and he is going to be a crucial component in beating the next big bad of the next saga, which is going to be Galactus, which is actually point 4 and not point 3. Point 3 is one of Galactus's heralds, which I'm assuming is going to be the Silver Surfer. Now, of course, we've gotten a Silver Surfer movie before, The Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, so there is always the thought that Marvel Studios might want to stay away from the Silver Surfer for a while and introduce another Fantastic Four villain. However, we are expecting Dr. Doom to appear in the MCU quite soon, and we know that he'll probably play a major role in Secret Wars, and could even be the main villain on top of Kang, giving us God Emperor Doom. But having said that, I do not believe that he's going to be done in Phase 6. I think he's going to continue on in the MCU, at least I hope. But point 3 of why Phase 7 is going to be awesome is because we are going to be introduced to a herald of Galactus, and I hope it's the Silver Surfer. Now, here's where Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four come in. They're going to come in contact with the Silver Surfer, but I think most of us know how that story goes. Ultimately, the Silver Surfer is typically convinced that Earth is worth saving and defies Galactus. He then works alongside the Fantastic Four and other heroes who will be in the MCU at that point in time to defeat Galactus. But this is going to be a huge event. Galactus is going to be the Kang or the Doom of Phase 7 and Phase 8 and maybe even Phase 9, depending on how long they want to take it. But Galactus will be the big bad of the next saga, which could be the Galactus Saga. I've seen a lot of fan art out there that says the Age of Galactus, and I really like that title.
I have too.
Now, Galactus has been
awesome.
defeated many different times in the comics, and sometimes it's not even that hard. Literally, Squirrel Girl defeated him. Well, not really defeated him, but kept him from consuming the Earth by simply being his friend and giving him some nuts. No, I don't think that's going to happen in the MCU. Of course, I think it's ultimately going to come down to the ultimate nullifier. Most comic book fans know what this is. It's the ultimate weapon that can defeat Galactus, and it's actually kept on Galactus' ship. However, in the MCU, I think Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four, and maybe even some other smart people like Bruce Banner, if he's still around, will be the ones to create the ultimate nullifier. However, I also believe that there is one more point that is going to make Phase 7 and beyond pretty epic, and that is the cosmic entities. Now, Galactus himself is a cosmic entity. He's a cosmic being, and Marvel Studios recently has kind of been preparing us for cosmic beings. They mentioned the Living Tribunal in Doctor Strange. We actually saw the Living Tribunal in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and they introduced Eternity in Thor: Love and Thunder. However, Eternity was very different than his comic counterpart. But even though the cosmic entities might be a little bit different, I do believe they'll have some major roles to play in Phase 7 and beyond, which I hope ultimately leads up to some Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four kind of teaming up with some cosmic entities. We know the Watcher exists in the MCU. We saw the statue of the Watcher in Thor: Love and Thunder, and in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they showed us some Watchers talking to our man Stan Lee. And in the comic books, although the Watcher is not supposed to interfere, he oftentimes does. In fact, he's kind of the one who tells the Fantastic Four about the Ultimate Nullifier and that it's on Galactus' ship in the comics. So Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty are going to be pretty epic, but I think we're in for a real treat when it comes down to fighting Galactus, because it's going to take literally everybody, including some cosmic beings. Now, I say some cosmic beings because some cosmic entities out there choose to actually not interfere with Galactus. Take Eternity, for example. Eternity considers Galactus a part of the natural order of the universe, which is why Eternity doesn't interfere with Galactus devouring worlds. I'm sure there are some other cosmic entities that might feel the same. Take the Living Tribunal, for example. When issuing judgment, all three heads have to agree. If only two heads agree and one doesn't, they will not execute a judgment or interfere. However, I do believe there are other cosmic entities, like the Watcher, and like some Celestials, who will interfere. The Celestials are big ones because Galactus devours worlds, and as we've learned, the worlds are kind of cocoons for unborn Celestials, who feed off of the energy of the population that lives on the planet. And the Eternals made a pretty big deal about how important this is to the Celestials, how important it is for other Celestials to be born, because eventually they go on to create other worlds. So they would probably have an issue with Galactus going around and destroying their worlds that they're creating, some housing unborn Celestials. So I know Secret Wars is going to be epic and the greatest thing that we've got from Marvel Studios so far. However, I think the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are going to be even more involved in Phase 7 and beyond, and I do believe Galactus is coming after Phase 6 as well. So, based off of what we know, Phase 6 will be Kang and Doom, then we'll have Secret Wars and a bunch of different variants, which is going to be an epic battle, but then after that, we'll get more focus on the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the cosmic entities, and Galactus will come. And hopefully the Silver Surfer, his herald, comes before him and joins the fight. I think this would be the best saga that we've got so far from the MCU. Granted, we haven't finished Phase 5 and 6 yet, and I do believe they're going to be epic, but I think Phase 7 and beyond are going to be even more epic. But let me know what you think about all of this in the comments down below. What do you think we'll see in Phase 7? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching.
Yeah, so I like the fan art too, and the title is definitely pretty awesome with the new Avengers coming up, Galactus. Definitely spot on, but it definitely does make sense that Phase 7 is more than likely going to focus on bringing in more cosmic gods, and Galactus being a main threat to the cosmic gods themselves. So again, we have already seen several of the cosmic gods so far with Eternity in Thor Love and Thunder, and the Living Tribunal, the Watcher, Lady Death, and several others. Even though they were statues, they still made cameos as well. And then Eternity playing a big role in Thor Love and Thunder as well. So, and then the Stranger, we'll probably see the Stranger because he's also a cosmic god himself. We'll probably see him in the far future too, so I think they're going to definitely bring him in. So, but besides the point, Galactus devours worlds, and he also eats planets, and he actually gets into confrontation with the Celestials, which of course they play a big deal in the Eternals in the MCU as well. And the Celestials are the main guys in the Marvel Universe as well. So they've also gotten into confrontations with the Beyonder and several other the cosmic gods as well. So, but yeah, I mean, because Galactus basically is a billion years old, basically. He's been around even before the Big Bang actually happened. So it kind of does make sense that Galactus, being as old as he is, been around since creation. And the fact he used to be a human being, or basically he used to be an astronomer, or from another planet actually. He was still an alien, but he was also an astronomer at the same time. But regardless of the fact, he definitely plays a big role after when he was sucked into the Big Bang, into the machine, and becomes the devourer of worlds. So it kind of does make sense that he becomes like the main big bad for the next one after Kang the Conqueror. So, but besides the point, it's definitely going to be epic seeing Galactus, and even though Phase 7's far away, being able to see Phase 5 and Phase 6, that's going to be epic in itself, and I cannot wait for the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So it's definitely going to be awesome. What do you guys think? You guys are excited for Phase 7? You guys have any type of ideas about Phase 7? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to interact with you guys and you guys' opinions and excitement about it. Let me know. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments down below. But in the meantime, I love you all so much. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for everything. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Spread love, be love, always be positive, make an impact. I love you guys so much. Thank you for everything. I love you all. Excelsior, as Stanley will say. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.